All right, guys, today we're going to talk about OpenAI ads, which are ads served through ChatGPT. So, a couple things you're going to want to know when you're setting up your ad account. So, first thing is when you set this up, you're going to want to go to ads.openai.com. It is going to use, if you have a ChatGPT account, it's going to ask you if you already have a enterprise workspace. It'll let you create an ad account within that workspace. You do need to be an admin. If not, you need to set up a tenant that sits in its own separate workspace. I've heard some people have had issues with the approval process. We went through very quickly. It's your typical know your customer process. So when you go and you get set up, it's going to ask you for your standard things like your billing information, company name, LLC, all that good stuff. And you put that information in. We were approved within 5 minutes of putting that information in. So a couple things to kind of chunk it down. Conversion tracking is pretty simple. You just create a data source. That's going to be the event that goes up on your website. They don't support iOS and Android yet, so it's just web events. Once you get those web events, it's going to give you the code. This is a little confusing for unless you could figure this out on your own. There's two sets of scripts. One goes on all the pages, and the second script is going to go on the thank you page or your registration page. And I kind of put this in a Google Doc so you guys can see it. This is the script. When you go into view code, you see the script tags. The first half of this is going to go in all pages. And then you create a conversion event here. And you can go here, create conversion event. You can name it. You can set what the base event is. I'll just call this lead 2 just so you guys see it. I'm going to set a base event of a lead created. And then I can attach that to the data source and I can set the conversion window. It just defaults to 30 days. What it doesn't do is usually when you set up a conversion event, you can see the script that needs to get added on the thank you page. I actually had to, ironically enough, go into ChatGPT because the script it gives you here at the bottom, right here, guys, is just an example. Registration completed. You need to switch registered completed with whatever your conversion event is here. In this case, it's lead created. And you can see this was the final event that we had. There are some cool things. You can actually do a test. You can hit play and you can see events streaming in real time. That is really cool to be able to see when you're troubleshooting your conversion tracking. I like that feature. Billing is pretty straightforward. And then the campaign management is super simple. So you can create a campaign. Campaign, just like Google and Meta Ads, works the exact same way. So we'll call this digital marketing test. Conversion tracking isn't working just yet. So it is aware of conversion events, but you can't optimize for a conversion event. There are a handful of countries. We're obviously targeting the United States. You can set up a daily budget, and this is where you can link your conversion event. Ad groups kind of work the same way. So we'll call the ad group here lead gen test 1. And then you're going to point it to a website. Obviously, add your UTM strings. I promise I know how to write UTM strings, guys. Just talking and typing here at the same time. OpenAI ads test. You get the gist here. Context hints, I actually, ironically enough, I went into ChatGPT and screenshotted this to get an idea of what context hints is. I think the best way to explain it is kind of like broad match keywords. Again, probably the best analogy is kind of like broad match keywords is for Google. It's contextual relevance to give ChatGPT some guidance on where to serve ads to. So we go next, configure ads. There's a website, and this is it. You can add a up to 50 character headline. You can add up to 100 character description and upload an image. We did one here just for our, just as a test. So we'll put this here just so you can see what the ad format looks like. We go 50 headlines or less here, 50 characters or less. Here we go. More leads, better quality. Sure, I'm gonna get some comments that the copy sucks. Yes, we're just testing this here. And then you can upload an image. I actually just had ChatGPT, which, by the way, the new image creation mechanism within ChatGPT is actually pretty good. It's not quite as good as Nano Banana. We use Manus a lot, but it actually generated this and it's pretty good. And that's it. Next, submit. Your campaign is live. I'm going to discard draft. I just did this for a digital marketing agency, focusing around lead generation and some of the lead gen saturated verticals or heavy verticals that we work in. And it's already serving ads. I'm going to do a few updates here and let everyone know how this does, how well this does, and provide some updates on the socials. But yeah, this is a blue ocean, I think. So we're going to continue to test and give everyone updates as we see the numbers come back from running this. Thanks, guys.